For this project, we asked how athletes could use stability to improve overall performance. Stability is defined as the resistance of an object to having its equilibrium disturbed. Athletes in sports such as football, sumo wrestling, gymnastics, and track and field all use the concepts of stability to improve their performance whether they recognize it or not. In a sport like football, one of the most important positions are linemen. The goal of a lineman is to stay as stable as possible when facing off against the other player in order to either protect their quarterback or to try and get to the other quarterback of the opposing team. In order to do this, they will have to increase their base of support and lower their center of gravity. To do this, they will widen their stance and bend their knees. Football players are also usually heavy, which helps create linear stability. By standing this way, they will require a larger force to push them over. In this first video, we simulated what would happen when a football player sets up in a position that does not increase stability. Her center of gravity is high and her base of support is small, which allows the other player with a stance that optimizes stability to easily exert enough force to move her out of the way. In this next video, we see that when a player takes this stance with a wide base of support and a low center of gravity, much more force will be required to disrupt the athlete's equilibrium. This is a video from an LSU football practice demonstrating the ideas of stability for a football player. This game is called the Big Cat Drill, and the goal is to cause your opponent to either be pushed out of bounds or to fall over. Here we can see that these athletes set up on all fours, which will increase their base of support and therefore increase their stability. We can also see that the players try and stay low to the ground in order to lower their center of gravity and again increase their stability. This clip also shows that the athlete who raises their center of gravity ends up being the one who's knocked down. These same concepts apply to sumo wrestling. These wrestlers will start out on all fours, creating a wide base of support, and they will squat while trying to push the other one out of bounds. Another factor that contributes to the stability of these athletes are the mass that they possess. The heavier the athlete is, the more force required to disrupt their equilibrium. Athletes with higher masses will be more linearly stable. This makes the ideal body type for athletes in sports like sumo wrestling or even football linemen, high mass and thick legs. Stability is indirectly related to velocity. So in sports where speed is required, the athlete will want to decrease their stability. Track athletes, specifically sprinters, fall into this category. In these next couple of clips, we demonstrated that by adopting an unstable starting position, Clint was able to increase his velocity and acceleration. In this video, the stance is wide and he is relatively stable, which requires more force to get a faster start. In this second video, he starts out unstable, up on his toes, and is therefore able to apply a smaller force to increase his speed and begin moving. This video of professional sprinters, including Usain Bolt, shows how the stance with the lowest inertia allows these athletes to increase velocity very easily. Technology for track starts have also been created in order to decrease the inertia and increase the force for these athletes. The starting blocks for sprinters are designed to allow for as little stability as possible and to maximize the amount of force that an athlete can use to overcome any resistance to disrupting equilibrium. Gymnastics is a sport that requires ideals from both wanting to have a high stability but also wanting to limit the inertia one is forced to overcome due to the rotations that they will have to put their bodies in. The balance beam is one of the events in women's gymnastics, and it perfectly displays the skills of a gymnast in regards to stability. The balance beam automatically lowers the base of support that the athlete will have. With having to stand one foot in front of the other, the stability of that person will decrease. In order to compensate for this loss of stability, many gymnasts will look to better control their center of mass. In order to do this, they will place out their arms to keep their center of gravity aligned with their base of support. In this first clip, we see Erica struggling to walk across a makeshift balance beam due to the small size of her base of support. In this next clip, she compensates by fixing her center of mass and realigning it with her base of support. We can now look at a video of Simone Biles performing on a balance beam using the same arm technique that Erica showed in the video before. We can also see how the small base of support can allow her to move her body faster than if she was in a totally stable position. Her dismount also shows these stability concepts because she bends her knees, which allows her to stick the landing and become stable faster due to her lower center of gravity. The ideal body type for a gymnast is short to optimize a low center of gravity and petite in order to have a smaller mass to overcome with a force or torque. After looking at a variety of different sports, it is clear to see just how important stability is for athletes. If we as humans did not have stability, we would not be able to live our daily normal lives.